Yes, I did get a haircut. Thanks for noticing. Anyway, welcome to the morning update. It's Tuesday, November 18th, a little over a week away from Thanksgiving. And here's a question. Will you be eating a cloned turkey this year? Probably not. Very unlikely, but it's come up. Cloned animals is a thing. We had a story break a couple days ago. Canadians could soon be eating products derived from cloned animals without ever knowing. I guess the real question is could you even tell because it's an animal? It's not like lab-grown meat. Anyway, Health Canada has quietly moved to lift long-standing restrictions on foods derived from cloned cattle and swine. Oh, no turkeys. Removing them from the country's novel foods list, a category that requires pre-market safety reviews and public disclosure. This has started a conversation. People are sending me links to things. So I started looking around, seeing if there's news. And 92.9 The Bull in Saskatoon, Canada. We get this from the food professor, who says there is no risk with cloned meat, but the product is something different from a consumer point of view. Sylvain Charlebois, professor and director of Dalhousie Agri-Food Analytics Lab, explains that cloned meat is the offspring of cloned animals that would be allowed to be commercialized. I don't know if I pronounced any of those names right, and I guess I really don't care. He says when you assess the quality and the nature of that kind of meat from a cloned animal, I'd say that you just can't tell the difference. It would be the exact same. The challenge, of course, is when you think about food. You're planning to feed humans, and some humans may not find the concept of cloning all that appetizing. So we move on to an MSN article. Apparently, the true scale of America's mutant meat scandal sparks alarm in the government. Dun, dun, dun. Advisors to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fear cloned meat and animal breeding could become a divisive issue inside the Make America Healthy Again movement. Well, I'm sure it will. And again, the question is, what exactly is it? Well, you remember Dolly, the cloned sheep. What'd they do? They basically cloned a sheep, and then they put the embryo inside another sheep, and Dolly was born. And they're doing that now with other animals, apparently, probably an attempt to breed or crossbreed superior forms or better forms of some kind of meat. Am I against it? I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. It's a cow, right? And it's just like this cow right next to it and the cow next to that. And I got to be honest with you, I've been to farms. I've worked on farms. I can't tell cows apart. I just can't. I mean, they're cows. I mean, they're obviously a little different, but what if they were all the same? They'd still be cows. So I'm not super concerned about it right now, but there are things apparently that you need to be worried about, like lab-grown meat. This is not that. This is not lab-grown meat. This is not using lots of chemicals and technology and electricity to make fake meat. This is the real deal. You're just using cloning. It's a little different. It's a little weird. We're not quite used to it. But to be fair, I went to the Center for Food Safety. Apparently, they're celebrating 25 years of whatever it is they do. And they're concerned. They think people need to be aware, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's just a disclosure issue. Using genetic technologies to clone food animals is a relatively new science that remains understudied and imprecise. However, defects in these animals are common, and scientists warn that even small imbalances could lead to a hidden food safety problem in cloned milk or meat. There are few studies on the risks of food from cloned animals, and no long-term food safety studies have been completed. Well, that makes sense. We haven't been doing it very long, so we must obviously need that. We need to be cloning them and trying them out for a while to see how that goes before we have enough time to investigate whether or not there could be issues. Cloned animals pose several concerns for consumers. These animals tend to have difficulty delivering live young and develop lameness. These illnesses may lead them to be heavily treated with hormones and antibiotics, which can enter the food supply and put human health at risk. Now that's a good point. Furthermore, the high costs involved and the patenting of the animals lend the industry to corporate control, putting small and medium-sized farms at risk of consolidation and exclusion from raising patented breeds that had been part of the public domain for generations. Also a good point. Numerous opinion polls show that the majority of Americans do not want food from cloned animals and are opposed to the technology on moral or ethical grounds. I think that's a matter of spin and marketing. If you could make beef really inexpensive I don't think people would really care, especially if you just said, this is a copy of a super awesome cow that has great tasting meat. A lot of people, it's just one of those things you might have to get used to. Or maybe it's weird.
Begun. The Clone War has.
Maybe the medicines and the hormones and all that is an issue, and it's worth consideration, but I wanted to talk about it, and now I'm done talking about it. Let me know what you think in comments. How do you feel about cloned meat? Do you think we'll ever be like, oh, it's just meat? Or will it get that lab meat sort of, nuance to it? Up to you. People do eat that crap, the lab meat, and they think it's good. That's it for this morning. We are not going to clone this program for tomorrow. You will get something different. Thanks for watching. See you then.